respected and ranked program. Now he's taking over, though, Coach Aganis, as the head coach there and athletic director at Moody for the Blue Devils, and his adoptive son, Amon Lane, committing to Auburn. The first commitment in that 2024 class followed about an hour later with Adrian Posse, the Miami quarterback, who's going to be at Christopher Columbus High School, 6'4", 230 pounds. So two big pieces, literally and figuratively, for Auburn's 2024 class, and now a piece from with Ashley Williams joining the group. So huge get for Auburn there to get Ashley Williams. I think an underrated edge rusher. You heard Cole Pinkston yesterday talk about how he needs to add weight. There's no question about it, but he's got a lot of twitch. He's got the ability and the frame to add weight. Should be a good player for Auburn. And when you lose Leota, when you lose Derek Hall likely after this season to the National Football League, Auburn's going to need to reload at the edge spot, and that's a good start with Wilkie Denard. And they're different styles. Denard's a bigger guy, 6'4", 250 pounds, may beef up into an interior defensive lineman or a defensive end even. But he does have the ability, though, to play the edge. Probably going to be more physically ready to go as a true freshman than an Ashley Williams. But Williams has a lot of potential within a year to develop into a guy that could really help Auburn's pass rush. And you heard Cole Pinkston talk about that yesterday. And if you've missed any episodes of the Recruiting Blitz with D Squared, we've now got that on our SoundCloud page. You can check out those 3 episodes. We've had some great conversation thus far. We talked to James Chaney, the head coach of Richard Young at Lehigh High School in Lehigh Acres, Florida. Over there in the Fort Myers area, it's a really talented Southwest Florida region with a lot of players. Richard Young, arguably, the top running back in the 2023 class. He commits to Alabama, and so we talked extensively to him about that. And then, of course, our second episode we had from the On3 site Bama Insider, Jimmy Stein, giving us some thoughts on Alabama recruiting. And they got a commitment on Monday from Hunter Osborne from Hewitt-Trussville High School, big-time defensive lineman, Josh Floyd's program, churning out players there. There's some on both sides of the Iron Bowl rivalry, as there's a couple of big pieces of the recruiting puzzle for Auburn. Javian Johnson, who's there, has a chance to have a big year this year if he can stay healthy. He transferred from St. Clair County to Hewitt-Trussville for his senior year. He's shown ability to be an explosive guy for Auburn. And then Dazelin Worsham, who transferred from Miami, hadn't played a lot for the Hurricanes, but was a big-time player at Hewitt-Trussville. Now they're reunited at Auburn. Both those receivers. So Johnson and Worsham reunited for Auburn, and so we're excited to see how that goes. And so I think, when you look at it and you look at the Auburn Tigers right now, I think they're trying to create some momentum on the recruiting trail, and I think the Auburn coaching staff is taking a measured approach because of the situation they were put in with Brian Harsin, in his future being uncertain. So I think it hurt them. Early in the cycle in February and on into the camp season. But again, a fast start on the field is really going to be, just paramount for them to create some momentum, on the recruiting trail early. And I just think if they can get off to that fast start, I think it'll create some momentum and they'll get some really good players. And that's what's going to need to happen for the Auburn Tigers, no doubt. Javarius Johnson, though, and Dazelin Worsham from Hewitt-Trussville are going to be big parts of that. And so Auburn and Alabama now with some big-time players, of course. Alabama, as we said, getting the young man, the defensive lineman Hunter Osborne. They've already got Malachi Moore, who's been a big part of that Alabama secondary. Just hasn't been healthy, but a lot of talent coming out of that 7A Region 3 Hewitt-Trussville program. And we hope at some point on the Recruiting Blitz to catch up with Josh Floyd as well and get his thoughts on that program. He's been a part of Talking Ball before. We have and our coaches roundtable that we've had in the past. So Josh Floyd's been very generous with ESPN 97.7 The Zone. Always great to work with. And again, he's got guys now on both sides of this Iron Bowl rivalry at Alabama and Auburn, and we look forward to continuing to follow their progress, no question about it. But again, Ashley Williams, Zachary, Louisiana, of course, his teammate Eli Holstein is a quarterback commitment for Alabama, so they have guys now on both sides of that rivalry. Zachary, a very good program, won a state championship last year. I believe they went 14-0, trying to repeat. So that's a high-level program, and so Auburn dipping in over there to get Ashley Williams, the edge rusher, and so we'll continue to monitor this Auburn class. Later today on the Recruiting Blitz, our featured guest, we hope to connect with Scott Stidham, the first-year head football coach of Independence High School in White Stations, Tennessee. And, of course, that's about 35 miles outside of Nashville. And they just had a young man, Ty Lockwood, flip from the Ohio State Buckeyes and Ryan Day to Nick Saban at the University of Alabama. He is going to be the tight end commitment in the class for the University of Alabama in 2023, and it's going to be a great class for Alabama, I think. I mean, they've risen all the way from 35th just in late May when Eli Holstein committed. It started some momentum, and then since June the 1st, it's been, an unbelievable rise for Alabama. Now they are a consensus #1 class in the country in every poll. When you talk about on3sports.com, 24/7 Sports Composite, or Sports Illustrated, they're #1. So now they have to stay there, but they certainly have a lot of momentum. And we're going to continue to follow the recruiting storylines. Of course, one of those being Keon Keeley from Berkeley Prep in Tampa, Florida. He's coming off a visit to Alabama's Champions Cookout, where he, I think there's a lot of people having him on flip watch from Notre Dame. He's been a long-time commitment back when Brian Kelly was the head coach last July. Now Marcus Freeman, his defensive coordinator, has taken over as head coach. Notre Dame trying to keep Keon Keeley in the class, but I think there's been a lot of conversation created and a lot for his family to think about with Alabama, really starting to make a push, and they really have all summer, if you've been following his recruitment closely, that Keon Keeley could be on flip watch to end up eventually joining the class in Tuscaloosa, no doubt about that. So, again, we're looking forward to continuing to follow his recruitment. And, again, you can call in right now, 256-576-4977. Any of you guys listen to the Blitz Sports Radio right now, if you want to talk some recruiting, definitely look forward to that conversation if you want to join us right now. But we're going to be on for this hour each Monday through Friday. We always enjoy talking recruiting, and it's something that's a 365-day-a-year conversation. Never stops. And Alabama and Auburn both trying to build big-time classes. Alabama, the #1 class in the country. Auburn's a work in progress, but again, it's going to be predicated on the success of Brian Harsin and his coaching staff coming out of this gate quickly in this 5-game homestand at Jordan-Hare Stadium. So we really look forward to that. Again, we look forward to continuing to have the Blitz for you now 5 days a week and talk recruiting because, again, there's always a storyline to follow, always especially for the University of Alabama and Nick Saban and the way they recruit. But Auburn, if they can get some momentum going, there's always something to follow. And even with what's going on at UAB, I know Bill Clark had to step away, Brian Vincent taking over, but UAB has been a very, very good program in Conference USA. And now they're going to be transitioning to the AAC. We're following Jacksonville State and Rich Rodriguez, that new era. Rich Rod, a lot of success at West Virginia. Since that time, though, his star had dimmed some, now trying to get it rolling back again at Jacksonville State. Could this be the perfect fit for him? They opened fall camp on Monday, and again, we look forward. I think they play Stephen F. Austin on August 27th in their opener in Montgomery at Crampton Bowl. Should be a big-time atmosphere there. And Jacksonville State making the transition. They're going to be in the A-Sun this year, but then we'll be in Conference USA, ironically, the league that UAB is leaving. But Jacksonville State making that full-time transition to Division I, spending a lot of money on facilities, beautiful campus there. My father, a graduate of Jacksonville State, so looking forward to Rich Rod and what he can do there. And then Chris Willis, they get full-time, FCS membership now, and they're super excited. They've gone through this transition where they weren't eligible for postseason play. Now UNA, a full-fledged member, and they're going to be competing in the ASUN. They're very excited about that. And they want to continue to upgrade their facilities, but it's going to be an exciting time for UAB football and UNA football, Jacksonville State. A lot of great football. And, of course, how can we not forget our great friend John Summerall with the Troy Trojans, former Grissom Tiger. I was very blessed to follow his career as he was coming up as a student athlete under the late, great Ronnie Massey at Grissom. They had one of the best teams in school history his senior year, going to the semifinals of the state playoffs where they bowed out against Rush Probst, Hoover Bucks in a very competitive game. But John went on to be signed by Guy Morris in Kentucky, then play for Rich Brooks, become a very good linebacker at Kentucky. And since then, we've seen him just make a steady rise through the coaching ranks, and now he takes over for the Troy Trojans in their head, and takes over another North Alabama native, Chip Lindsey, who was the head coach there, former Bob Jones Patriot, former Auburn offensive coordinator. But John Summerall taking over at Troy, bringing a lot of energy and enthusiasm and intensity to that program, and his opener is not going to be easy. It will be at one of his old coaching stops, Ole Miss. They will take on the Rebels in Oxford and Lane Kiffin on September the 3rd, but we will be watching that on SEC Network and very excited for his opportunity to put his stamp on Troy football. He did a great job there as an assistant under Neil Brown, now the head coach at West Virginia. But John Summerall is a guy that we're so proud of, and we've had him on our airwaves at ESPN 97.7 The Zone. Hope to eventually maybe get him on the recruiting blitz and talk some Troy football, but really excited for John and his staff and the opportunity that he has at Troy. So it's an exciting time. Fall camp's getting cranked up this week. The University of Alabama will be taking the field later this afternoon. Then we will hear from Nick Saban. So Alabama is going to get to work today. Auburn going to open fall camp tomorrow. So both the flagship schools in the state getting cranked up, and as we said, both having positive recruiting momentum created this week with the Auburn Tigers getting Ashley Williams yesterday, a big piece of their puzzle, and the sixth piece to that recruiting class in 2023. And we're excited for Coach Brian Harsin and his coaching staff, and to get that young man in place for Auburn. Again, two big pieces now on the edge, and they can continue to build this class, build momentum. And as you heard Cole Pinkston refer yesterday, offensive line is going to be a huge part of that. They're in the mix for several, including Bo Hughley from Langston Hughes High School in Fairburn, Georgia. There's several players, and they already have Terrence Love, his teammate, the safety, committed. But there's, Jelani Thurman, the tight end, committed to Ohio State. They're heavily in the mix to try to flip him from there. There's a lot of great players on that Langston Hughes team that Auburn is recruiting. And so we're going to continue to follow that storyline. And then for Alabama, right now, unless they have another unplanned commitment, and really that hasn't been a commitment date that's set in stone, the next one that has been set is August the 11th. That's Miles McVay, the massive offensive tackle that you heard Jimmy Stein talk about earlier this week. He's from East St. Louis High School, about 6'4", 6'5", in that range, 350-plus pounds. Needs to reshape his body, but he's someone that Alabama spent a long time recruiting. He's drawn a lot of interest from Oregon and Dan Lanning. He's drawn a lot of interest from Texas A&M, Missouri in that state. But Alabama seems to be poised to out-recruit Oregon. Probably Oregon, you might say, is second right now. But Texas and Texas A&M have been after the young man, certainly. And Missouri has been, but I think Alabama has positioned themselves strongly for Miles McVay. Alabama would like to have a 5 to 6 man offensive line class. They've had some very solid pieces in place, and of course it started with Wilkin Formby, the offensive tackle from Northridge High School in Tuscaloosa, who I think has a chance to be a Wesley Britt type player. Wesley was a very solid player, played in the NFL for Alabama, but I think Wilkin may be a little nastier, maybe even a little further ahead physically than Wesley, who was a very good player. And, of course, his two brothers, Justin and Taylor, also played at Alabama. But I think Wilkin Formby's got a chance to be a really, really fine player. And, of course, Raquez McKeldry, Alabama flipped him for Anniston High School. Antonio Kite, his teammate now at Alabama, is a safety. But they flipped Raquez from Georgia. He's going to be an interior offensive lineman for Alabama, probably a guard, perhaps could get a look at center. But he's going to be a part of that offensive line class. And so Alabama has got some outstanding pieces so far. They've done a really nice job, and Eric Wolford has, along this offensive line. They got Olas Alinen via Finland and, of course, prep school in Connecticut. He also committed to Alabama. He reminds me a lot of Mike Johnson, former All-American from Pine Forest High School in Pensacola, Florida, now coaching in the Marietta, Georgia area, I believe at Lassiter High School. But again, Mike was a great player at Alabama, started out as a tackle, transitioned to guard, and was a first-team All-American in 2009 on that 14-0 national championship team, and played several years for the Falcons in the NFL. And I think Olas has a chance to be that kind of guy. I think he'll eventually probably transition inside to guard, but could start out at tackle. And then if you get Miles McVay, that's the fourth piece. And then you could watch guys like a Raymond Polito. Certainly Raymond is at St. John Bosco, powerhouse on the West Coast, big rival to Bryce Young's old high school out there on the West Coast. And so he's a guy to watch. He camped at Alabama, really impressed them. He's 6'5", 6'6", 340. Probably going to be an interior line prospect as well. I know Louisville is heavily involved with Polito, but I just think when you look at it, I think Raymond Polito, if Alabama continues to push, they've got a chance to, secure his commitment as well. He could be the fifth piece to the puzzle, even maybe before the summer. So certainly when you play against the modern days of the world at St. John Bosco, it's a powerhouse program. But Raymond Polito is definitely a guy that's done what a Kobe Prentice did a year ago, the wide receiver signee for Alabama from Calera High School. He basically earned his offer, ran a 4.38 40 a couple times, worked out at Alabama twice, and went from a Maryland commit to an Alabama commit because he earned that scholarship offer. Raymond Polito, same way, came in maybe under the radar, but has become an outstanding prospect. And so I would say Raymond Polito and Miles McVay are a couple of guys to watch, no doubt about it, for Alabama along that offensive line group. But right now we're going to go on a break. When we come back, we're hoping to be joined by Scott Stidham, the head football coach of Independence High School in White Stations, Tennessee, to talk some Ty Lockwood, who committed to the University of Alabama. But stay with us on the Blitz here on the Blitz Sports Radio.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed precision overhead garage door service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision overhead garage door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision overhead garage door service. Call 256-400-4500.
For college football fans, Saturday in the fall means game day. But now passionate fans everywhere can experience game day every day at the new College Football Hall of Fame and Chick-fil-A Fan Experience, now open in downtown Atlanta. The College Football Hall of Fame features over 30,000 square feet of interactive exhibits, putting fans closer to the game than ever before, including a 3-story helmet wall displaying every college football team helmet. Kick field goals on a 45-yard long indoor football field. Sing your favorite team's fight song in a karaoke challenge and have your face painted digitally through one of the many interactive exhibits. Whether you're a diehard college football fan or a mom looking for a fun family outing, you'll find it all at the College Football Hall of Fame and Chick-fil-A Fan Experience. Get your tickets today by calling 404-880-4800 or visiting cfbhall.com.
Renowned sports artist Daniel A. Moore has teamed with master sculptor David Grieco to create Finish, the first in a line of limited edition bronzes. See the artist's work on Finish now at newlifeart.com. Finish captures Kenyon Drake's dive into the end zone after his 95-yard kickoff return in the 2016 National Championship game. Available in 3 sizes with the artist and Kenyon Drake signatures cast into each piece. Pre-casting prices are available at newlifeart.com. Hurry, this offer won't last long.
To the recruiting Blitz. Got it right that time. On Blitz Sports Radio. This is our labor of love here, our streaming channel that we've started, and we're really excited about our new venture here in Huntsville, Alabama. And the recruiting Blitz is a labor of love for me. I mean, really, it's why I got into the radio business, because of tracking and following and covering recruiting so closely. In the SEC, and of course for the University of Alabama, for Auburn as a whole. And the University of Alabama just got a big commitment and a flip from Ohio State, and that's Ty Lockwood from Independence High School. They call it Indy Nation over there, about 35 miles outside of Nashville. It's at Thompson Station, Tennessee. I look forward to hopefully making a trek there this fall to see a game. Of course, we're going to bring you Randolph Raider football here, but they have a bye week, and during that bye week, it will be a homecoming date for Independence High School. And a good friend of mine, Freddie Kirby, and I hope to make a trip up there to see the great environment, to see this young man, Ty Lockwood, and what we hope he's going to bring to our state here at the University of Alabama. But we're now joined by our featured guest on the show today. He's in his first season going into coaching this program. He's one of the best coaches in the Volunteer State, and did a great job starting a program from scratch at South Gibson before coming to Independence High School. And that's Coach Scott Stidham, and he's with us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, I know you guys are just getting off the practice field. We truly appreciate your time. How are you this morning?
Well, yes, sir. We're having a freshman versus sophomore scrimmage right now, and to finish up. But we appreciate you having us on, a chance to talk about Ty and what he means to us, and going to do well for Alabama.
Yes, sir. And and you're taking over a program last year. Had a first-round playoff exit, but it's one that's got a lot of history, and it's a great one. I mean, they won a state championship in 2015, and they played for another in 16. And they've had a lot of success at that program, and I know you had a lot of success at South Gibson yourself, building that program, starting from 2009 and building it from scratch. But talk about the opportunity at Independence and taking over a program with the kind of tradition they have. Not
very smart to follow Scott Blake. He had a state championship, finished second, so did a great job here. But just excited about this opportunity. The administration here is second to none, and the support they give us and the opportunities they give us for success are definitely here. And then we've got some good players for sure. So, and starts with Ty, but we have some others that we're excited to see. We start on August 19th. Our schedule's really tough, but we're excited to see what we can do when it starts counting for real.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach, I know you just took over. You were hired in late December to take over this program, and you talked about how committed the administration is. How has the transition been? I know so much of what I talk about when coaches leave a place and take over a program like an Independence, it's earning trust to the players. And how has it been for you and your staff taking over this program and transitioning to your new job?
Well, blessed that I got to start in January, and our administration's helped us get the coaching staff we need here. But to me, coaching football is about relationships. The offense and defensive schemes are important. If the kids don't know that you care about them and they don't feel like they can trust you, it doesn't matter what you're running. So we'll put our program on making sure they understand that they can trust us, we care about them, and eventually we're going to love each other. So it's been, the kids have bought in from the first day, and we kind of challenge. We have several kids that are potential D1 kids in addition to Ty, and I challenge all of them. The first days I've been in bad programs or seen them where the best players were allowed to get star treatment, weren't made to work hard. I said, I believe the opposite. The ones that God's blessed with the most ability should be our hardest workers, and Ty and Trey Hartwell and Cody Pogotch are three of them that definitely have been, and been very blessed to be around some great kids.
Yes, sir. And before we talk about Ty, you mentioned those other two young men who are leaders for you. For our listeners who are not as familiar with Independence High School in Thompson Station, Tennessee, and this program, it's more than one guy. So talk about those other two young men as leaders and what kind of players those guys are.
Trey Hartwell's a running back that's getting interest from FBS Group of 5 and then FCS schools. He's going to have a chance to be a great future as a running back, and he'll also play some outside linebacker to give us a chance to put our best guys out there. Cody Pogotch will be his first year as our starting quarterback. He'll be a junior, and he's a young man that has a chance. He's gotten some FBS offers already and continues to improve. But what starts with, we have 24 seniors, and they've all been great leaders, bought in. You know, it's hard to buy into a change when you're a senior, but they have bought in and worked their tails off, and they're excited to play 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Well, we're talking to Scott Stidham, first-year head coach, Independence High School in White Stations, Tennessee. And, of course, he's got Ty Lockwood, one of the best tight ends in the country, and he's just flipped from Ohio State to the University of Alabama. And Coach, I know he was committed to Ohio State when you took the job. He's one of the first guys I'm sure you that stood out to you when you started studying film with this program and taking it over. But for our listeners, tell us a little bit about Ty Lockwood and what you've learned about him.
Ty, first of all, he's a great human. You notice him when you walk in because he's 6'5", 225 pounds.
Exactly.
And so he looks the part, but my greatest compliment to Ty is I'd love coaching him if he was 5'6". He cares about his teammates. He's just a high character, great young man, and someone we're excited to have in our program. He's a leader, not because of his ability, but because of his character.
And, of course, as we said, I mean, that's the first thing when you have great character. And I know Nick Saban and his coaching staff, they do a lot of due diligence and study guys and try to find out about their backgrounds. And for a guy to be a worker like that, and if they've grown up in Thompson Station and been a part of this Independence program and done a great job, I know him being a leader for you with these 23 seniors has got to be a big help to you and your staff taking over this program.
It really does, and he doesn't. You would never know that he has all these offers or anything when he's out on the practice field. He works like everybody else, and all our kids have. And that's one of. I think you build a team like that, it's easy to get caught up on the guys and their offers, but you got to build a football program through players. In high school, you need your guys like Ty and Trey and all those really talented guys, but you win football games with good high school football players playing a little bit above their ability. And so that's what we're allowed to do because they have great relationships with their teammates.
And Coach, I mean, I know as you studied Ty, he obviously was already a great prospect when you got here. What stood out to you most on film? I know he absolutely sticks out, 6'5", 225 pounds. But when you were studying him as you were taking this program over, and I know he's one of the linchpins you want to build your program around this year. What stood out about his ability?
You know, Ty's not the fastest guy in the world, and he knows, like every tight end going into that level to play at Alabama, he's going to have to improve as a blocker because he's going from blocking high school kids to men. And so he knows that. But the thing that stands out about Ty is his catch radius, what the coaches always use. I mean, if you throw it near him, he comes down with it. He grew up wanting to be a basketball player, so he's used to going to get rebounds. But that young man, if it's anywhere near him, he's going to come down with the football. And it's really special. There'll be our quarterback's really good, and he knows if he just throws it up that Ty's going to find a way to come down with it most times.
And, Coach, as I was looking at the film of him, the thing that stood out to me is you mentioned he played basketball. I know that's one of Nick Saban's favorite things is multi-sport kids that have the athleticism and ability to play more than one sport in high school. But he also seems to have the frame where he can end up being a 255, 260-pound inline tight end, in addition to being able to maybe flex him out and get a matchup on a smaller safety where he could make plays. And as you said, with that catch radius in his hands.
If there's any doubt, and we're going to move him around here. He's not used to in the past. They haven't used a lot of tight ends, but we happen to have in our program Ty and several kids that can play tight end for us. So we're going to put his hand in the dirt some. We're going to move him around too, because the defense he's number 4 for us. They better always know where number 4 is. So moving him around a lot, allowing him to have opportunities, put him in space, and let him do what he does with the football in his hands.
And then the blocking aspect, certainly, as you said, he's going to have to improve as a blocker, but a lot of that is want to. And then the one thing Nick Saban's offenses still do, he's changed his philosophy since 2014, but he still believes in inline tight ends, and he sent several to the NFL. Was that one of the biggest attractions in your mind for Ty when he was looking at Alabama?
I think so, and he knew that that's where he's going to have to play. You know, he can't. I mean, those SEC nickelbacks, if he's like a slot, he's not going to be able to get open against those guys. So he understands that we got to move him around and be a tight end. And we've worked really hard to help him improve as a blocker starting this spring when we got him passed. And he continues to work at it. And he will get better, number one, because of his character and his work ethic. And so it's going to come out if he cares and knows that's where his ticket is.
No question, and he seems to come from a great family. His father, David Lockwood, his mother, they're active on social media. And as they said, it was a very difficult decision to flip from an Ohio State, a very good program in its own right, to Alabama. What kind of role have you taken? I know you just took over this program in December, but what kind of role did you take in advising he and his family in his recruitment?
I talked to him. Obviously, when you got a kid like that, you don't have them every year. Maybe not. I hope we do. But when you have those kids, there's open communication. And then I told Ty, wherever you go, whatever you decide, we're going to support you and love you. You can't make a bad decision. And so we've done that. We've had a lot of coaches come by and wanted to talk to him. And it just tells a lot about who he is. And I said when he was just, got the offer from Alabama last week, was talking about the opportunity he had. I said, man, wherever you go, we got you. You can't make a bad decision for us. I do attribute now our athletic trainer who's been here since the school opened. Her name's Brandy Mangrum. She's from Huntsville, actually.
Yes.
And was a student trainer at Alabama, so I'm blaming her for tampering. That's what I keep telling her to get him to go to Alabama. But no, he's a great young man. We're supporting. We're excited that that's where he wants to go.
It's so funny you mentioned her, Coach, because I believe her half-sister is married to Keith Neighbors, who I know very, very well. His older brother is the owner of my radio station, so he's the reason I have a career.
She just said, "Yep, she's standing right by me."
Yeah,
so,
that's right. Absolutely. That's awesome that she's standing right there. I hope we get a chance with Freddie Kirby and I have make this trek to Thompson Station, Tennessee, and Independence. We get a chance to meet you and her and see this program. We're really excited about Ty, and we think he's got a chance to be special.
Oh, absolutely. And again, there's a lot of kids with ability, and he has it. There's a lot of kids that have that 6'5", those fewer kids. What separates him is the kind of human being he is and his work ethic. And it's a long process. He knows that, but we're excited to see over the next 4 to 5 years what he can do there. And to work under Coach Stave in that program, how can you pass that opportunity up?
Well, last couple of minutes with Scott Stidham, the head football coach, Independence High School in Thompson Station, Tennessee. For our listeners, how big a school is this, and how would you compare it? Because in Alabama we have 7 all the way up to 7A. What size school is Independence?
Yeah, we're a 6A school. We have about 2,100 kids in our school. It's the largest class in Tennessee. Will Hester was the head coach at Florence.
Yes, sir.
For several years, came from Ravenwood, from there in our region. Predicted to win the region this year. So, I was talking to him yesterday just about Florence and the football in Alabama and how it is. So it's the top level of football in public schools in Tennessee. So we're going to play good people every Friday, and we're excited. I believe last year, Independence, 5 of the 10 regular season opponents played for a state championship.
Oof.
So it's a tough schedule, but we're excited to give it a shot. We're going to show up every Friday night for sure.
And what are your expectations in year one, Coach? I know you've got a big senior class led by Ty, 24 seniors, as you mentioned this to us before. You've got 3, prospects you think have a chance to play maybe D1 football. But what kind of first year do you think you can have at Independence?
Well, we're in a region that's really tough. It's a 6-team region. If you finish in the top 4, you make the playoffs. So that's our first goal. If you finish in the top 2, you get a home playoff game, so that's next, and then you try to win the region from there. And we match up with big schools in Memphis, so more really well-coached athletic teams. So we know it's going to be tough, but a team from this region the last several years, 5 or 6 years, has played for a state championship. So we know that we're probably going to have to play each other again in the playoffs, and we hope we're the last one standing.
And final question, I know you mentioned blocking, and you guys have been working with Ty on that to improve his physicality there and become a well-rounded tight end, which is what he's going to have to be in the SEC for Alabama. What other parts of his game have you guys talked about him improving on, and what does it, and the old adage is you either get better or you get worse. So what does he need to work on his game as he's getting ready to start his senior season for you on August 19th?
Well, it's to continue. He's gotten better running routes. And that's helped him a lot. He's not going to wow you. We'd love for him to go to the combine in 4 or 5 years. He's not going to wow him with a 40, but his separation's good. He continues to work and continues to know he has to get better. He's a great route runner. That makes up for a little bit of time at straight ahead speed. So he understands that. He's getting more. He talks about how his knowledge continues to go up, understanding coverages and leverage. So those are the things that he has to continue to work on. But again, we don't have to worry about Ty showing up and not working. He knows every day. Our program's getting a little better every day, and he's one of the leaders, along with our other seniors that are willing to do that.
Well, we've been honored to have you join us for the first time. Hopefully, we know in the future with the program you're going to have there in Thompson Station at Independence High School, we're going to be probably featuring you again. But it's been an honor to have you to talk some Ty Lockwood and talk some football in the state of Tennessee. We look forward to some successes here. Look forward to making a trek up there to see Ty this year. But thank you, Coach, for taking the time live from practice, that freshman-sophomore scrimmage. But thank you for the time on the Recruiting Blitz on Blitz Sports Radio for joining us today.
Well, we appreciate you having us, and we'll look forward to seeing you at a game this fall.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That's Coach Scott Stidham. We need to go on our break, and we'll wrap up this quick hour of the Recruiting Blitz on Blitz Sports Radio here in Huntsville, Alabama.
The Blitz has been called.
To celebrate the Olympic Games, Bridgestone is giving away prizes. You could instantly win a $10,000 Bridgestone Visa prepaid card and other great prizes every day when you buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires. Stop by Firestone Complete Auto Care today. No purchase necessary. Open to legal U.S. residents 18 and older. Limit 2 entries per person. Ends August 21st. For official rules and to enter without purchase, visit bridgestonewin.com. Limit one $10,000 Visa prepaid card daily fulfilled by mail. Prizes awarded subject to verification. Visa prepaid card may be used anywhere Visa debit cards are accepted. Cards issued by the Bancorp Bank, member FDIC, under license from Visa USA Inc. Neither Bancorp Bank nor Visa USA Inc. are a sponsor of or affiliated with this promotion.
Napa know-how.
Smartphone speakers. They're about as effective as chopping firewood with a butter knife. A rusty, dull butter knife. So pick up a wireless Bluetooth speaker at Napa for just $26.99. With a rechargeable battery, 33-foot range, and rugged waterproof case, it does the one thing your phone is terrible at: play music. The Napa Bluetooth speaker, now just $26.99. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer expires 8/31/16.
Football season is here, and it's time to score big and get in on the action with MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is an industry-leading website and the best place for you to cash in on all the insane last-minute drives, huge upsets, and heart-pounding finishes. Join now, and MyBookie will match your deposit with up to a 100% bonus. They have in-game live betting on nearly every sporting event, plus a user-friendly mobile site, so you never miss a single play. Are you sick and tired of getting the runaround when you ask for a payout? Come join MyBookie today. With decades of expertise, no hassle payouts, and no fine print, you'll experience the greatest customer service in the business, guaranteed. Use promo code RADIO to activate your bonus of up to 100%. Call 844-900-2387 or visit mybookie.ag to open an account. That's 844-900-BETS, or go online to mybookie.ag and use promo code RADIO. Win with the best, only at MyBookie. Sign up today.
It's the geometry teacher who mans the ticket window.
It's the kid in grade school who paints her face blue and white before every home game.
It's the accountants and salesmen and store managers who give up their Friday evenings to referee.
It's the graduate who listens to the league championship game on the internet.
It's the parent who sells ads in the school athletic program.
It's the cashier at the corner convenience store who wears school colors on every game day.
It's the trainers, equipment managers, and ball boys who never miss a practice.
What makes high school sports here in Alabama so special? They do.
You do.
We all do.
High school sports. It's the we that every community needs. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. Stop into the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in a Kia. Go Mustangs!
Welcome back. We're winding down the recruiting blitz with D Squared, episode 4 on Blitz Sports Radio. Please continue to support us and tune in. We're going to be with you Monday through Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. talking recruiting. We just got off the phone with one of the best coaches in the Volunteer State, Scott Stidham from South Gibson High School, now taking over in Thompson Station, Tennessee, taking over this independence program that's been so good. Again, a 2015 6A state champion, 2016 runner-up, also runner-up in 2007. So a lot of success with that program, and Scott Stidham taking it over. 24 seniors, one of them being Ty Lockwood, 6'5", 225 pounds, flipped from The Ohio State University to the University of Alabama. Going to be the tight end in the 2023 class for the Crimson Tide. A guy that's got the frame to add weight to be a 260-pound inline tight end, but has the ability to flex out though, get open, has the catch radius in the hands. You heard Scott Stidham talk about being a matchup problem, especially in the red zone. But he can be a traditional tight end for the University of Alabama. Alabama still uses that position quite a lot. Cam Latu had a solid year for Alabama last year. And there's some rumors that Cam Latu may have had a meniscus injury and could be slow to start fall camp, which will start today for the University of Alabama. We'll find out about that. Certainly, there's been rumors that he could be out till Texas A&M, but he may have had a quicker recovery and he may be ready for the opener against Utah State. Hopefully he will be. I thought he took some steps forward last year. He was another developmental player out of the state of Utah who he started out as an outside linebacker at Alabama. It's a Sam linebacker, but then was moved to tight end and has made a nice transition there, made some plays a year ago, has improved as a blocker, has a chance to be an NFL player if he can have a solid senior season. But again, he will be moving on after this year, so Ty Lockwood will be coming in. And we really appreciate Coach Scott Stidham's time as he joined us live from the practice field as they were having a freshman-sophomore scrimmage. You heard it, and of course you heard that their head athletic trainer from Huntsville, Alabama, and of course she's the half-sister to Kim Neighbors, the wife of Keith Neighbors. So we look forward to connecting with her and connecting with Coach Stidham because we can just tell you the recruiting blitz with D-Squared will be making a road trip, barring the unforeseen, on September 23rd with the legend Freddie Kirby, who with Pigskin Preps for so many years was a pioneer in the recruiting industry. And we both would like to get an up-close look and give the eye test to Ty Lockwood. And hopefully he's set to have a big senior season for Independence High School. And hopefully they'll get back to the playoffs. You heard, though, that the favorite in that region, the 6-team region, is Ravenwood. And, of course, Will Hester, who used to be the head coach of Jaleel Hurley at Florence High School when Jaleel was in his freshman and sophomore days. Jaleel's a 5-star DB committed to Alabama. He's moved back to Ravenwood. He was the head coach there at one time, won a state title, but now he's back with them, and they're the favorites in the region. But certainly I think Independence and Ravenwood hook up at the end of the regular season, so there could be a lot at stake there. But 24 seniors on this Independence squad led by Ty Lockwood, and we're just really excited for his potential and for him to be a part of the University of Alabama football program. And again, Alabama will be taking the field later today, this afternoon. Then you'll hear from Nick Saban, and of course just follow our coverage on the Blitz. We'll have our show, The Blitz, coming up from 2 to 4 with Smokey Mike Honcho, with Bailey Lowry, and of course Captain Cool, John Abraham. We're really looking forward to their show continuing to grow here on the Blitz Sports Radio. My show, just as we said, my first week here with the Recruiting Blitz. We hope you're enjoying that. We've been able to feature some outstanding coaches from around high school football in the Southeast. We'll continue to do that. We'll even have some student athletes potentially on our show as well, and recruiting experts from throughout the industry. I've been blessed to have a lot of connections as I've followed recruiting for a long time, and really excited for this opportunity to bring you a lot of recruiting conversation here from 9 to 10 a.m. Now, there's still a couple of minutes left in the show. If you want to join us, 256-576-4977 on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. But, time flies when you're having fun, and the Recruiting Blitz, just a few minutes left as we have finished up yet another great show with you, talking recruiting. We talked some Auburn today with Ashley Williams joining the class from Zachary, Louisiana, the edge rusher. So Auburn has added a big piece, and now they've got another commitment coming up potentially by the end of this week, and that's Jacorius. I think I want to say that correctly. But J.C. Hart, he's from Lochapoka near Auburn, a smaller school young man, but a guy that ran in the 4.3s at Auburn's camp and really earned the attention of that coaching staff. He's been offered also by Gus Malzahn at UCF, Travis Williams, the former Auburn middle linebacker, the Auburn great is part of that staff. A lot of former Auburn Tigers part of that staff now and part of that program. But Mississippi State and Mike Leach have offered this young man, so he's got a decision to make coming up. But Auburn is thought to potentially have the edge in his recruitment. So we will see. But he's got a lot of things to decide. But I think when you look at with Vandy, Mississippi State, Auburn, and UCF being the Final Four for J.C. Hart, I would think with the proximity to Auburn, with his visit to Big Cat, and really the Auburn staff turning up the heat and interest in this young man, that Auburn's got a chance to add another piece to the puzzle. And they've done a great job of developing defensive backs lately, especially guys that maybe flew under the radar, during their high school days, like a Roger McCreary, who we were very blessed at 97.7 The Zone to have a chance to catch up with, at SEC Media Days. He went from a guy that was drawing interest from Group of 5 schools to getting a late offer from Auburn, and went on to become a second-round draft choice, 35th pick overall this past, April into May for the NFL draft. And so he got drafted by the Tennessee Titans, had a very good senior year at Auburn. So Roger McCreary developed, and J.C. Hart, same kind of tools, very fast, got nice length. Not the biggest defensive back, but a guy that has a lot of upside. And so J.C. Hart, a guy to watch that could potentially, by the end of this week, pull the trigger for the Auburn Tigers. And I think he wanted to, have this announcement in front of his family and friends and teammates, at Lochapoka High School. So he's a guy to definitely watch that could be added to this class at Auburn. And so he's someone that this Auburn staff under Brian Harsin and Jeff Smetting, the new defensive coordinator, has really taken, a liking to. And I know that Zach Etheridge, really he could be arguably the best recruiter on that staff, former Auburn Tiger, did a great job with their secondary last year. I know he likes him a lot. So Auburn fans, just be watching J.C. Hart, and he could be joining this class very soon. But we are about to wrap it up here, Chapter 4 of the Recruiting Blitz on Blitz Sports Radio. For your host, D-Squared, Drew DeArmond, we hope you enjoyed the show and that great interview with Scott Stidham, and we talked Ty Lockwood to Alabama, talked some Auburn. But we'll be having more recruiting conversation coming up on Friday, but enjoy the rest of your morning, and remember, the Blitz this afternoon from 2 to 4. Tune in.
On the air again sooner than later.
Tom Abraham, only on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Now, it's time for your Atlanta Braves morning update.
Phillies score 3 in the 8th and salvage a split with the Braves on Wednesday afternoon.
A-list season ticket members receive the best seats at the lowest prices. First access to postseason tickets and so much more. Learn more at Braves.com/A-list.
2-2. That's popped up towards foul ground down the first baseline. Hoskins is there, and he makes the catch. And the Phillies come from behind and beat the Braves here on a Wednesday afternoon.
Wednesday afternoon at Truist Park, the Braves dropped the finale of their brief 2-game series to the Phillies by a final score of 3-1. The Atlanta offense got a run in the bottom of the 5th inning on a solo shot from Orlando Arcia, his 7th of the season. But then, leading by a run into the 8th, the Braves would give up 3 as Philadelphia got a run on a ground-out fielder's choice from JT Realmuto and took the lead on a 2-run homer from Nick Castellanos, his 9th of the season. Charlie Morton would take a no decision despite 6 2/3 scoreless, allowing 3 hits with 1 walk and 8 strikeouts as the Braves dropped to 63-41 on the season. Braves will now hit the road for a big 5-game series over the next 4 days against the first-place Mets as Kyle Wright gets the ball in tonight's series opener. And as always, hear all the action live from Citi Field right here on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network. First pitch of the series opener is set for 7:10 p.m. Eastern. I'm Kevin McAlpin, and this has been your Braves Radio Network Morning Update.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
In 1982, Bob Baumhauer introduced Alabama to the Buffalo Wild Wing, and quite frankly, we've never been the same. Back then, it was Wings and Things in Tuscaloosa, but now, 40 years later, after 4 name changes, Baumhauer's Victory Grill is the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. Bob's Alabama Hot Chicken is something that has to be tried to believe, plus the new Bam Bam Chicken and the Louisiana-style Go Fish, a whitefish over rice topped with shrimp etouffee. And Baumhauer's is fighting inflation with some new affordable favorites. Visit Baumhauer's on the South Parkway today.
All right, where are we going for breakfast?
I kind of want a breakfast quesadilla.
Oh, I didn't know they were doing quesadillas for breakfast these days.
Well, Taco Bell is.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, they have this Bell breakfast box now that comes with this breakfast quesadilla that's super cheesy and a hash brown.
Okay, I wish I knew about this earlier.
And it has Cinnabon Delights and a coffee in it.
Why did I not know about this earlier?
Try the new $5 Bell breakfast box, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations during breakfast hours only, 7 to 11 a.m. for a limited time. Contact local store for prices and participation with fare. Tax extra. Drinks exclude free seats.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. WNBA star Brittany Griner apologized to her family and her team during today's closing arguments